And we're live. Hello everyone in YouTube land. Thanks for joining us tonight. Who do we have? The live chat is on. If you would love to leave a comment, ask some questions. I'm joined here with Tonia, Shen of...
Hi everyone.
What is it, accounting manager now? Is that the title?
I'm an accounting manager, mid-tier firm. I'm from Fishburners Sydney. Fun fact, me and Sid actually used to work together, so bit of experience here and part of the audience member tonight, and it was a great pitch night, wasn't it, Sid?
That was a very fantastic pitch night tonight. Everyone had fun. I reckon we had over 100 people attend just in person and probably 200 online, so yeah, great evening. What did you think about the pitches? You've been here a couple times now.
It was. So it was really interesting to listen to the pitches, especially coming from an accounting industry. And I would say that a lot of them have dealt with what I find frustrating as an accountant. So, you know, like improving efficiencies. There were so many that were like, what can we do to save your time as an accountant? So definitely would invest and highly recommend a lot of them. How would you feel about that, Sid?
Well, yeah, the pitches tonight, they had a great range of different products and services that they're offering into the market. Very ambitious types, very like wide range of in different levels of their business, right?
Yes, very different.
Yeah, there's some very brand new businesses trying to make a name for themselves, and a few listed companies as well, which was exciting to see. But yeah, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Sidney Cachuela. Welcome to our live stream. This is the very first time I'm doing it, so we're just winging it. Tell us how we do and give me that feedback so we can always improve our live streaming. So yeah, Sid Cachuela. I'm a co-founder of Pop Tax and Pop Business, online accounting tech companies. Focus on SMEs building their dream business. So if you need an accountant or would like to talk about what we need to do for your business to grow, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. But so, Tonia, thank you for joining us on this impromptu event.
No worries.
What do you think about being pulled in so out of the blue?
Look, I was not prepared to join this talk show tonight. But I am always happy for a chat, and this is the great thing about the community here. Everyone is so welcoming, and there is so much to learn, and I am always open to having a chat with you, Sid.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thought you were a wonderful host, and it was great.
Yeah. Thank you for the kind words. And so, Tonia, you know, tonight is about accounting tech, and you've been in the accounting industry for a few years now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me something exciting that's happened in the landscape, accounting landscape. Where have you seen it change from you starting as a graduate accountant to now as a full-blown accounting manager? Okay,
so I might not look like it, so I hear, but I've actually been in the accounting space for the last 10 years. And
how do you look so young?
Back when I started, you wouldn't believe it, but we were all working off paper files. Clients would send their documents literally through shoe boxes, and you would actually go through paper trails of bank statements. You would have nothing like Xero, no MyObs, no like Expensify add-ons or any of that stuff. Yeah. So it has changed so much, and like the accounting industry has probably got rid of half of our roles in terms of, you know, like if you're a data entry person or like, but it has also saved so much time for us as accountants and bookkeepers and turned us all into advisors. So it is so important. And
well, that's a great encapsulation of what's happened in the past 10 years in the accounting industry. I definitely remember working on paper files as well, and I can say, would you say that we've shifted more from just data entry to more advice, getting more involved with the clients' businesses and helping them point them in the right direction?
Yeah, definitely. Especially like when you're looking at automation, like the computers do that stuff for you, but what the computers can't do is give you advice in terms of specific questions that you have, in terms of, you know, what would suit your needs at that time, and that's something where you need to come to like a real life person to talk to. So for example, Sid at Pop Tax, go see these guys for tax advice, tax planning.
Yeah, that's right. Come see us. But if you actually need the nitty-gritty, the more complex stuff, Tonia's your gal. So tell me, out of the pitches tonight,
Yeah.
which product or which business was the most exciting for you? Because you were talking about
Yeah.
all the apps that you've seen come onto the market in the
Yeah.
past few years. Was there something that you would be like, that's what I want to use?
So one of the ones that stood out for me was the one that was actually the audience-winning vote. So that was
Bluesheets.
Bluesheets.
And that's who we'll be interviewing next up.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
So,
great plug.
Great plug. So what I love about that is, like, one of the nightmares that we get is, you know, you have all this data come through. How does the client see value? You see value from what you get out of that as, you know, the end product. So what they do kind of shows all of that, and with all of their export, I'm a very bad explainer of this, so please ask.
But you're explaining it pretty well.
But I see that as super valuable because it's something that I see that I can apply with my clients, and I can see that it will be beneficial for them as well. So.
Yeah, I thought the same thing about Bluesheets. I think they've got an interesting product, and I'd love to see what they say next.
Great.
But yeah, Tonia, do you have any questions for Fishburners or for me, or we're just winging this as we go?
We totally are winging this. Questions for you, I guess.
And those online, tell your friends to join us. Watch this very interesting chat. It's going to be very exciting and entertaining.
Embarrass ourselves in front of all of you. So if I was accounting tech company, or, you know, any startup in general, how would I come to pitch at Fishburners? Like, what would I need to do?
That's a great question. So Fishburners is quite an inclusive community, focused on startups, right? So depending on where you are at your journey, whether you just have an idea or you're thinking about, scaling investment, meeting new people, getting a brand new network, definitely talk to the community managers at Fishburners, and they'll point you in the right direction.
Great.
But you don't need a lot, you know. You just need the courage to be like, hey, I got an idea. Let's kick it. So great question there. And I like, personal story. Like, I did pitch in my first year at Fishburners, 2018, and I was nervous. I was so nervous. They asked me to pitch the day before the event.
Nice.
Someone fell through the event.
Did you win?
You're getting to the punchline quite quickly there, but I had to prepare just with less than 24 hours. Never pitched in my life. Hated public speaking. And when I got asked the question, "Do I want to pitch?" I said in my head, "Hell no." But you know, I said, take every opportunity that you can take and say yes. So
that is great advice, Sid.
yes, take the leap, and yes, we won. We won.
So, moral of that story is to give everything a go and say yes to opportunities, because you never know what might happen from there.
Yeah.
Look at Sid as an example himself.
So you're an entrepreneur yourself, Tonia. So please share with the audience, like, maybe a tip that you would have getting into business.
So my tip into getting into business would be, look, there are so many people out in the world that know things that you don't know. So I try to talk and have conversation with people that, you know things that I don't know. So I'm learning things every day, because I guess without that, you won't have the opportunity to come up with a brilliant idea that you won't know never existed.
Yes, great tip. I think always be open to knocking on any door.
Yeah.
Being open to the conversation and seeing where it goes. Definitely, there's a lot of serendipitous moments that I've had as a founder as well, where wow, this conversation just led to this and led to that.
Exactly.
So thank you for being able to join us on this chat so impromptu.
No worries, I'm so glad you asked me to come in and have a conversation with you.
So great to see you.
This is the Sid
So
and
great
Tonia
to see
show.
Tonia. The Tonia and Sid show is coming live. We're going to make a podcast.
Thank you.
Link in the description below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll be coming to you with more content in the future.
This is for my personal use, just so I get a future reference.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Tonia.
you.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us at Fishburner Talks. We've got our friend Clare at Bluesheets talking to us tonight. We had her pitch amongst 8 other pitches tonight. She was actually the winner, and we're so happy to be joined with her tonight to talk about a little bit about your business and whatever else we want to talk about.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me. And honestly, it's been such an amazing event to be a part of tonight. To come and pitch for the first time at a Fishburners event has been fantastic. Actually, the first time I've been able to pitch ever in person since we founded the company. So to win and have the audience vote is just amazing. Cloud 9 for us.
I think you did an amazing job pitching, and it's a testament as to why you won tonight. Your first time pitching in person, really? That was a well-oiled machine. How many times did you practice that, and who did you practice in front of? Or you just did it, you're just a natural?
Yeah, I think this is unfair because everyone's a bit different, but I grabbed my 2 slides and, know the business inside and out. I've pitched it 70 different ways to, VCs, clients, team. I grabbed a meeting room about 20 minutes before we came down and
you knew it back to front.
What my points were going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it helps so much by having the judges and their questions because they add so much insight, and for them to ask the questions the way they do and really open up and allow us to talk about the business is such a that's the real asset.
Yeah,
we
had a great panel of judges tonight and great questions to think about and mull over. And what do you think is your biggest takeaway from tonight? Where do you see the business going? And then after that, I'll ask you a little bit more about your business as well, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course. So we've been working with accountants from multiple different countries for several months. We launched our platform last year, and my takeaway from this event is really just how well connected and I won't just supported, yes, but I think well connected and innovative the accounting tech ecosystem in Australia is. It's very unique. I was just talking to one of the judges, Lee, about this earlier, in that the connectedness of the accounting tech space, so startups, partners, the organisations like Chartered, Australia and New Zealand, and the startup scene, it just creates this really amazing innovative space where we're all here looking to advance the technology, whereas in other markets where we work, there's definitely a disconnectedness and, it's just a very different feel. It's nice to be part of a community that's happening here in Australia, which also means that we have been making sure we've iterated the accounting-specific features of our platform to work with accountants in a way that is really supporting them and their clients. So the way we put it is, we've waited to really shoot our shot here in ANZ because we want to make the most of the opportunity with the network in this space.
Yeah, great. And there's so many points there I would love to touch on. And but I'm an accountant myself, and so Pop Business, we're an online cloud accountant. And don't you think it's come so far from the days of Xero just coming out? And it felt like it felt like ages ago, but it's less than 10 years that it's really taken hold. So you said you waited to shoot your shot. How long did the ideation stage take? Because you said you launched last year. So tell us how long was the journey?
Yeah, sure. So we founded the company 2 years ago. Before that, we spent about 2 years in R&D. What we combine with our technology absolutely encompasses, like you said, the rise of cloud accounting, cloud systems, amazing, and you end up with all of this great, rich data online in completely uninteroperable systems. It's siloed, so it's online, but you can't use it. So for an accountant, that's just a huge headache. So for us...
I feel that.
Yeah.
We need to talk later about the business, though.
Yeah,
I think we could use Bluesheets.
Absolutely, would love to do that. And then on the kind of digitization side, we have offline data. There have been advancements in NLP, so we really looked at how we could apply that in the best way possible. I mentioned during my pitch that we have this really kind of persistent commentary around going completely online, fully digital, and yet we still have this offline component. So being able to marry the two has been really important for us in our go-to-market. So we kind of had that in the platform, that really powerful digitization categorization portion to be able to process all of that unstructured data. If there's a shoebox that's being scanned or or a PDF invoice, and then we launched the self-step platform last year and have really been working with accountants closely in Singapore, around the globe, also mostly in the EU since then.
Very cool. And what was your background prior to starting the business? I feel like it could be like an engineer instead of like an accountant, because you've got that analytical, sort of very process-driven mindset. which is really cool to see.
Thank you. Yeah, not an accountant. I completed a bachelor's in international finance. I spent 3 months in an accounting office and said, this is family not for me.
I started in accounting, and that's why I left too, but I came back to the industry.
In a different way. I like the way that you come back. I actually moved into tech, so I've been in tech my entire career in early stage. So through Uber in the early days, Uber Eats, B2B food tech, before we launched this business.
Very cool. And tell me a bit about like the team that's currently at Bluesheets. How did you find the right team, and what values did you build for the company? Because I think as a founder myself, I find that very important from the get-go.
So true, and it's something that we can't emphasize enough. Internally we're a small team. We have a couple of dozen people on our staff. More than 40 if we include the tech team as well, I guess now. That's kind of crazy to hear myself say out loud. Absolutely, culture is so important because the team that we have now, they are literally building the company with us. And the attitude that persists in the team today is what any other hire will bring in coming forward. Like, they set the standard. So some of the values that we really try to manifest within the team are ownership. We want owners, not renters. Got to take ownership of the work. It's literally in startup life. If you see a problem and you don't jump on it, then it doesn't get done.
And I think it's interesting, accounting, the industry itself, as some would say, even in the industry, that it's been quite slow to move. Like, there's that inflexibility to change and try new things because, that's just the way it's been. So, because do you have a lot of accountants? You say you work with accountants, there aren't any accountants in your team, so it's a very different approach, would you say? Yeah,
we do have an amazing finance manager who comes from a tech and finance background, so he adds a ton of value from the accountant's perspective in terms of functionality and the way we're building out these features. But we do really see that, and I think there's a willingness from the industry to innovate and adopt tools, but there's really, no silver bullet here. And what we see is very much that we've gone from completely offline manual processes, and OCR came in and it was the bee's knees. You can digitize data, it's a game changer. Yeah. So now when we come into the room and we say we can not only digitize to a greater degree of accuracy and categorization, go from 95% of your, information digitized from an invoice, we can get all of that data down to line item level data at 99.5% accuracy across all of your finances, not just invoices, your sales, your bank statements, everything, and then take that from multiple sources automatically, send it to multiple destinations with really, quite sophisticated entries into your Xero, your SAP, your NetSuite. They go, that sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, it does sound too good to be true, which is amazing to see that you've manifested that, created that. So I'm always interested in the build, right? Like the operation side, the process. I love that side as well. And don't talk about it if it's like intellectual property or anything. But like with the OCR stuff, were you able to use like an off-the-shelf software first and then build from there, or did you start from scratch?
Yeah, so happy to answer. We actually started from scratch here. So like I said,
that's crazy.
Advancements in NLP.
But full control.
Really was, started of the early kind of ideation, the MVP of what we had. So when we kind of point to what our tech can do, and I think people get excited by the integrations, they can plug into these things. I'll call the NLP component, but the digitization portion is actually part of our proprietary tech, and we specialize in processing that unstructured, unformatted data, which is really powerful. It kind of obviously extends beyond just accounts payable and receivables as well.
And how does it appear on like an accountant's setup, like between the accountants and the client? Does it show powered by Bluesheets, or is it white labeled, or is it a different separate platform that both stakeholders require accounts, or what's it look like?
Yeah, sure. So the way that it operates between accountants and their clients is as a middleware. So it's an in-between system, but there is a portal. And it really is up to the accountant on what kind of model they're working with us on as to how much collaboration there is. So simply put, we work with accountants ideally on a partnership basis where they're referring on the subscription to their clients. We love it because it makes life easier for the accountant, easier for the client, and then they can take a clip of the ticket on the way through. So everyone wins in that scenario. They can invite them to view the portal and have certain access and permissions, or they can choose to do it all in-house, in which case the client is only having access to either our app, which is coming out later this year, which I'm very excited about.
Very exciting.
Or they know that it's powered by Bluesheets. Or we work directly, in which case we're back of house. It's a green labeled solution, if you like, and then we work on a pure usage basis with the accountant. That's really when we're looking at medium to large scale accounting firms that have huge volumes of data.
Cool. And maybe like a last couple questions, because you saw at the pitches tonight we were talking about cryptocurrency. Is there because I know a lot of accountants are facing this issue where a lot of their clients are saying, I've got cryptocurrency, and a lot of work is just being pushed out, and now these clients are just sitting in the nexus, neither here nor there. What are the capabilities of Bluesheets with cryptocurrency at the moment?
Yeah, so it's a space we're really excited about, really being led by what the market is telling us in terms of the accountants that we're working with and their demand. So simply put though, we're not prioritising this in the sense that we see the adoption to accounting tech services is still quite low. But in that sense, we can still digest and digitize or integrate any of this information that's required. We don't have direct integrations to the crypto platforms at the moment, but anything that is a soft file or even offline, we can still digest and process as long as it's accepted by your ERP or accounting system. We can process it.
Well, this might be good news to you, and this is a little shout out to Crypto Tax Calculator, who helps us with putting together the reporting, the P&Ls for their trades. That might be worth an introduction there, but it's not going to be completely like raw. There's going to be some level, but I think your solution is like, as you said, and I liked how you said it, all like many to one and one to many kind of output input. So I feel like that collection of data would be helpful for accountants or clients that are using that, but you would display it in a way that's going to be
absolutely
digestible.
Yeah, when that becomes a primary source of data for accountants, that is exactly how we kind of prioritize our integrations. If they need data from that source, we'll integrate and provide a direct link.
Yeah, awesome. This is my first time doing the live stream and doing questions. Okay, so if you had $10,000 to invest, what would you invest in right now?
That is a great question. I love that question.
Well, it sounds
First of all, can I have 10,000 a month recurring?
Can I use that 10,000 to buy a genie who can give me unlimited wishes? We'd love that.
Exactly. I want the unlimited wishes.
What do you think? Like, we're going into a very interesting time in the world right now. The big R word is on everyone's mind. So, apart from that question, after you finish it, a good final question would be, how are you going to position the business to mitigate against any potential risks?
Yeah, no, great question. And obviously operating as a startup, we're super aware of market conditions. For us, and it's always been the way that my co-founder Christian and I have operated, is to be very lean. We've both worked in rapid scaling tech companies, and that lean model is super important to us. So the way that our team is built is already very lean. So kind of scaling with that in mind is super important. So that's really going to how we're persevere here. So for us, the tech is built and functional. It's about just getting in front of accountants that want to use it. And we can do that in a really scalable way.
Great. And would love to talk to you afterwards about that. And lastly, for the founders and the audience watching tonight, what's like a final piece of advice you could give to them as maybe someone in the same, like just starting out, I guess? What was the most important thing to you to get right?
That is a great question. I think one...
It's hard to think about it like in retrospect, because then it's like you're digesting so much memory.
Yeah, right? Digesting so much memory, and of course startup years are like dog years, but maybe 10 years per year, but a few grey hairs. The one piece of advice that I would kind of share to folks in that earlier position starting out is a little bit trust your gut. There's going to be a ton of information that comes at you, and I think people tend to lean one of two ways, and that there's information overload and they don't want to take on advice because you're going to get conflicting advice. Investors, customers, teammates are going to tell you to go in like 20 different directions. at the same time, you can't just have your head down. So I would absolutely say take on board the feedback, but with a grain of salt, and have conviction in your mission.
Great advice. Thank you so much, Claire, for talking about Bluesheets. Any last things you'd like to say? It's completely open to say whatever you'd like. The only direction I had was as long as it's socially acceptable.
Okay. Well, I think I've made it through the entire pitch and evening without swearing.
Yeah.
No,
I think a light swear is okay.
No, we are really excited to continue working with accountants, especially in Australia and New Zealand. Like I said, we have dipped our toe in the water, but really looking to partner with firms and organisations in the accounting tech space here in Australia, and empowering as many as accountants as we can to use our tech and save, have better client outcomes, make their teams happier. Something that we're really excited to do.
Awesome. Tell us how we can reach you, and then hopefully we can create more opportunities in this growing startup ecosystem.
Yeah, great. You can find us at bluesheets.io. That's Bluesheets, as it sounds, .io.
Check the link in the description, like and subscribe.
Oh, there we go. In the show notes. At bluesheets.io, you can book a time with our team. You can hit me up directly on LinkedIn. Look, any of our team, myself included, would be really happy to chat, run through our platform and services, and see how we can help.
Thank you, Claire.
Thank you, Sid, for doing the interview. I would have one question. Have you talked about Antler already?
No, I have not.
All right. For all the people, potential founder, people in corporate world, what do you think about your Antler journey, and would you recommend them?
I would recommend Antler. We went through a Singapore cohort. I was fully remote at the time. This was the first cohort that ran after the start of the pandemic. We were two remote founders launching a business in the peak of the economic downturn. So
awesome.
Yeah. And at the time, Antler was like we referred to as the third person in the room, with the two of us being quite, risk adept. It was a third person in the room. They've been incredibly supportive through post that journey, so post the cohort and subsequent rounds of funding, advice. We're very close with our coach, who's provided all kinds of support and advisory from his background in tech and product. They've really been a great partner and resource. So I would 100% recommend, not just that early stage in terms of, we were a little unconventional. We already had a team, product, paying customers, so we were a bit late to join that journey, but they've been a fantastic partner to us in our scaling sense.
Great to hear. I've only heard good things from Antler, so it's great to hear that from you as well, Claire. If I do come up with another idea, I'll probably check out Antler to go through. All right, Claire, thank you so much for having a chat.
Great, thank you very much, Sid.
One more question. For all the Antler, how can I say, Antler community all out there, and all the Antler, because we do have a whole team of Antler startups up at level 3, right above that at Fishburner. For all the other Antler cousins who hasn't been to Fishburner yet, what would you like to tell them?
I think for the Antler family looking to move on and find space, Fishburners is a great community.
You don't need to join us to pitch. So just like Bluesheet, you can come and join us to hang out with us, help us use our platform to connect with the community out there. We're looking forward to help you with those.
Great community events, 100%.
Yes.
And join us. Come join us.
So now my question is, have we talked about give enough plug for PopTax already?
Tell us about PopTax.
Talk about PopTax.
Business.
Oh yeah, sure.
Interview him.
Sure, yeah, I guess it goes the other way too. So PopTax is an online individual platform for people to do their tax returns. So instead of having to see an accountant, you put your occupation in, and it'll give you 20 deduction questions that you would normally get from an accountant. So just cutting out sort of that middleman. It's like MyGov with steroids.
I love that. The
Yeah.
analogy, but also not having to go to the accountant.
Yeah, well, you can do it from your couch, just chill out and have fun. So there could be something there, like in the collection of data for clients. But our main focus is actually Pop Business, which is an SME accountant. We're cloud-based. We were cloud before COVID hit, so we were already doing Zooms, Google Meets online prior to that. 99% of our client base were, online. So we do help startups and SMEs get the right advice with the right accounting team to help them build their dream business. So that's what Pop Business is all about.
I love that. And somebody else mentioned before as well, like the importance of serving the small to medium firms. And that's such an underserved market in so many industries, and something that really resonates with us at Bluesheets. The first thing we launched was our self-serve platform for SMEs. So we talked about, you know, the whiz-bang tech that we have under the hood before, because it was really being monopolized in its earlier stages, monopolized by big corporate implementation, and we wanted it to be accessible. We both come from scaling marketplace platforms. I've seen, you know, by the hundreds and thousands how small businesses operate in their back of house, and we really wanted it to be an accessible technology.
That's an interesting perspective there, because I think SMEs, they're, you know, different stages of their life, their business journey, right? They could just be starting out, or they could be 5 or 10 years in. But right at the start, you have the most questions and the least amount of structure. So I think what you're doing with your tech is to, you know, structure that so that they can do more with it. And what we're trying to do with Pop Business is work with the right tech to actually give a tech stack to our business clients that say, hey, you're in e-commerce, hey, you're in consulting, this is what you need, and this is how you're going to get the right data at the right time with the right people. And then let's build.
And then make it scalable.
And make it scalable.
Yeah.
So that's always been like a tough point, one of those points that of contention that is hard for like accountant practices to scale. So I think tech-enabled accounting practices are going to be much more successful coming up, and we'll be one of them. And we're looking to do our own tech as well.
I love that. So as you were kind of describing that, we're just about to launch a new case study with a firm we're working with in Singapore, and I love this quote because the interviewer finished their case study interview by saying, would you recommend Bluesheets to other accounting firms? And one partner said, of course, like they're the future. The other said, no.
Because I want to have it.
Yeah, it's our competitive edge, and one of the stats from their operations of implementing with us is that they have saved 90% of the time that it takes to perform their bookkeeping tasks. So it's 90% operational efficiency gained. We have a cost metric that I won't share right now, but you know, for them it was like this is it. We can scale now with the same team. We can bring on that many more clients.
Yeah, I totally agree with the comments from both people. You know, I can understand that. Haven't used Bluesheets yet, but I think we'll definitely check it out, because I think what you're building is what we wanted to build with Pop Business, but we're not at that stage yet. So if this is like a shortcut, maybe it's going to be an interesting conversation to have.
We don't mind a green labeled solution.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's it from us, I guess. I don't know.
Can I interview you now about Pop Business, or do we need to hand these back over?
Oh no, I think we're good. There's no set agenda. Man, what would you like to talk about? All right. Well, Clare, thank you so much from Bluesheets and joining us tonight. And
we're gonna hand over.
We're going to have a couple more people coming on soon, so stay tuned. We're going to go to a quick break, and join us soon.
Thank you for all the people that are watching online. I believe we have people from England, Israel, the US.
Okay, my name's Alex. I'm the founder of Trim.
First-hand dramatic impact of climate change.
We will send a read-only copy.
Please jump on here, send us
Welcome back. I think I sit a bit too far away. Yes, this is better. Thank you everyone for staying with us so far. As I mentioned in many episodes before, the whole purpose of this Fishburner Live is to bring our networking vibe after the event out to the community who hasn't been to our event before, and share a little bit of insight for those brave people who were on stage, capable and brave people. And Sid is now waiting for his mobile phone. Until we finish, he's not going to come in to grab it. All right, welcome Elina.
Thank you.
You are from BDO.
I am, yes, just across the way here.
Very good.
We actually at BDO we have a lot of connections with Fishburners, so we're
That's
very
right.
happy to be part of it and the startup community and supporting these businesses as they're getting their feet off the ground. It's something we take great pride in doing.
We are grateful for, I think, at least 5 or 6 talks that Will and his team deliver to us. Every end of financial year, Will to do a tax preparation checklist or something with our team, and then every year he's done that, and that's very good.
Will Clare, yes, he's been
right.
working with Fishburners for some time now, and he really enjoys working with. So Will and I actually work quite closely on a few programs as well, including a financial education program,
That's right.
business growth program for smaller businesses, and helping them understand big picture and a bunch of other things that are relevant and pertinent to business as well.
So, your second connection to help us tonight is because of Chartered Accountant ANZ sponsoring our pitch night tonight, as you can see on the message up there. And Elina was the big fish on stage. How was the experience?
Oh, it was great actually. It was a really good pitch night. There were some very great presenters.
That's right.
It was actually quite hard as a judging panel for us to pick between them. There were some really good standout ones. Ultimately...
First of all, if you don't mind interrupting, are they solving real problems?
Oh yes. These are real problems that as accountants we face. Some of them on a daily basis, some of them on a year-end basis. But they're all real problems that we do face. So
no imaginative, no the wishful thinking. Well, no personal pet project for the founders tonight. They are addressing real industrial business issue.
Real industrial business issues. And some of the issues that they did bring up with some of the pitches, some of them were relevant only to the accountant side of things, and some were relevant to the accountant and the client as well.
That's right.
Be that an individual or a business.
That's right.
There was a broad range whom some of these products will help down the track.
There was an honourable mention, and then there was a winner tonight. It's not common to have an honourable mention, but this is not the first time, but there is not common. Why the honourable mention first?
So why we gave the honourable mention, it's something that is really big in the industry, is something that is affecting both people, individuals who need credit or needs their pay in advance at times, and there's a lot of sharks out there essentially who can take them for granted or give them funds at a high cost. So with the honourable mention, the products that they have...
Contact Source. Was it Contact Source or Contact Source? Honourable mention.
I apologise because I wrote the honourable mention went to Paysauce.
Oh, Paysauce, that's right.
Paysauce, who so they've already been listed in New Zealand, so they're actually quite far along in their journey.
Okay.
So they've put a lot of time and effort into getting their product off the ground.
Yeah.
And it's clear there is something. Apologies.
I think it's your water.
It's my
That's your
water.
water. That's right.
It's clear that clients, individuals need this, and
That's
that
right.
it's something that's
That's
actually
right. The
supporting
human-
and helping them.
The payroll HR
Yes.
software platform.
Yes, the payment.
Paysauce.
Yes, Paysauce.
Link in the description below, and for those who want to discover the 8 fantastic pitch tonight and a little bit more about Paysauce, yep.
Go online and check
So
them out.
the honourable mention was Paysauce.
Yes.
So can I ask this embarrassing question? Well, not embarrassing, but kind of controversial question. Did you personally vote for the winner before it was chosen as a winner? Was it your personal pick as well?
It was. So we were well, actually, the three of us, we had a balance between the two.
Okay.
So it was we'd both we'd all actually decided that these two were at the top.
Stand above
Were
the
stand
others,
above.
yeah.
They were all good. They were
Yeah.
all amazing. But some of them were a bit further along in their journey,
That's
and,
true,
and
that's
we
true.
could see that
That's true.
by the extra bit of support that they're actually going to get there and get
That's
their product
true,
off
that's
the ground. Paysauce has its product off the ground. It's got a very good model behind it,
That's
so
right.
it's suggested, and so they've done a lot of hard work to get there.
That's right.
So yeah,
And they are expanding across the Tasman.
expanding across the Tasman. Actually, I would be very excited to see them in Australia and off the ground in Australia. Because we hear often about people who need short-term credit who are really taken for a ride.
That's right,
so
yes, that's right.
it's going to be
But
good.
I don't get it that bit. Is that short-term credit? It was not a loan, right?
No,
It was actually early salary
The
payment
salary in advance,
by
yeah.
the employer.
well, ANZ was supporting it, so they had a partnership
so
with
the bank
ANZ.
actually have a short-term credit line of credit
Yeah.
to the company.
Yeah, but it's essentially, as I understand, and I would love to actually speak more with them about it,
Yep.
but as I got from the pitch, the employee has already worked to earn that money.
That's right.
So
but the
it's
paycheck is next Friday.
the page, yeah.
And then so they can claim up to today
They've
4
worked.
days of the pay.
Yeah, that they've
now
already worked.
as part of the
Yeah.
mechanism.
Yeah, and the ANZ will support that. The payroll won't still be completed until the end when the
So
normal pay was.
effectively, ANZ extended a certain line of credit to the employer in that way.
Well, it depends on how you look at it, because it's essentially the employee's money. It's just paying them for what they've already worked.
That's right.
So I'd like to actually expand
But it
on the
hasn't-
details a bit more.
It is not yet deducted from the employer account yet at that point in time.
No.
That's why I was.
Yeah.
And then I remember that they said they don't need a lender license because it was effectively a transaction.
Yeah, so they're facilitating it. ANZ would
The
have
bank
the
would be
yeah,
providing
yeah.
that.
So
And it sounds like a good product.
sounds like a great product, and I actually want to explore it more. And I
Yeah.
will be online checking them out and exploring it more and reaching out to them about it, because I love the concept, I love the idea,
That's
and
right.
I love how it's going to help
Yeah.
the
Okay.
normal people.
Yeah. So talk about the winner.
So the winner, Content Snare, that is one that also will help. And why we specifically chose Content Snare.
Our bar is closing in 5 minutes, but we can continue to talk. Sorry for the interruption, Elina.
Not a problem, not a problem. Why we specifically chose Content Snare in the end was because it's going to help both the accountant
That's
and
right.
the end user.
Yeah.
So there will be a lot more people who will benefit from it.
Yeah.
And having been an accountant for some number of years now, and who's worked with the individuals in helping
That's right.
to support their information, this is something that if the product works, and I know there's been a bunch of potential that have come to the market but haven't quite made it.
Exactly.
So my vote is on Content Snare to make it. and actually succeed and provide what it does. So I will be pushing for that. It provides the overarching benefit to both
That's
the
right.
end user and the accountant.
That's right. I think it was James pitching.
James pitching.
Yes,
yeah.
James pitching from Content Snare. And James, if you are listening, my own accountant have tried 2 different similar solutions, but end up keep switching. They switched to the second one recently. I'm not 100% sure yet, but the usability is a big challenge.
Yeah, and getting it right, which is what I say, there's been a few products out there, but they haven't quite got it down pat.
That's right.
And so the big question here is, James, can you get it down pat to work so that the end user, the client, is satisfied with how it's translating the information to the accountant? And you have my vote, so you've got my support there. I have every confidence you will. You clearly understand the back-end concerns that has been affecting.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, our repeated picture, Buttress, Matt Wills, in the beginning with all funny animation, funny pictures and things. With Linda, that everyone quoting about how tough the bookkeeping Linda's role has been. So, is that a genuine industrial problem?
It is
Yeah.
a genuine, and with that as well is the number of systems that Linda has to go to
Exactly.
and support.
Exactly.
It's quite inefficient.
Yeah.
And it's a genuine thing where if we can create something that eliminates all that inefficiency and that double entry and get things to talk to each other
That's right.
in the smooth way, we will be saving everybody heartache.
Yes.
Linda the bookkeeper, the business, and those people who are inputting into the systems as well.
With your BDO partners hat on, if you are looking into something like what Matt is doing for Buttress, before he takes off or while he's working hard to sort out his priority and investment into building his platform, what would you like to advise him?
I'd really suggest that he's clear on who his target market is in this product and why, and understand, which I understand it's the construction industry, and Matt has a lot of understanding of that industry, but how to really pitch it. And I know Matt was suggesting that it's pitching to the business, not necessarily the accountant.
That's right.
But I do think, Matt, you need to pitch to the accountants
first,
as well.
Yes, exactly.
So if often businesses actually speak to their accountant about technology, we are business advisors and we do have input into that.
That's right.
So if we understand the technology and we understand the benefits in saving for the business, that's something that we will support as well.
That's right.
So I really do think that knowing who the target market is, how you're going to approach that, have a selling plan around that, but also have an explanation to the accountants to educate the accountants and the business is important.
With your BDO professional hat on, I'm sure you can afford a $10,000 angel investment, because from startup community point of view, nurturing an angel investor habit from a professional demographic is hard. If you were to invest $10,000 out of your portfolio into high-risk investment, what would you like to invest in?
Look, there were actually a bunch of, as I said, there were a bunch of really good products brought tonight. So that actually is...
You don't have to be tonight. If it is one of the tonight pitch, great. But any other thing that potentially you would say, I think the world deserves this kind of solution, or any problem that is worth investing your personal $10,000?
I definitely think a technology that creates efficiency by eliminating double key entry points that talks to systems and amalgamates systems.
That's right.
So, and I've worked with organisations that do that from a payments side of things. So there's often so many payments platform, and you enter your details here, and you enter your details here, and you enter your details there. So there are standalone payments where they can integrate, that one platform itself can integrate with third-party and fourth-party payments, and you only have to put your data in that point, and
That's
they
right.
keep it secure.
But it's actually, keep it secure, or
Yeah.
keep it
They
secure,
keep it secure, and then
propagate
actually
it through
Yes.
distribute it to the right place.
Yeah.
But normally, I work in corporate world a fair bit before this particular career stage. The challenge is that a lot of the system, or the linkage or integration,
Yeah.
are very fragile too.
Yes.
What happened is that if one system upgrade, that integration broken, and then the whole thing collapse.
Yes.
And so maintaining all the integration to allow the automation to happen every day is a very expensive.
It
thing.
is. So the pricing model would need to work around
right.
understanding that, and it would need to have a true partnership with those third parties, where
right.
as they update and upgrade, that they're working with
Yeah.
this one provider, and together they're making sure that the systems work together. I think that management of relationship is key in such a scenario.
That's right.
Whereas if one is going off on their own, that's where the disconnect will happen. I know it can happen, and there's a lot that goes on that sometimes drives different things. And as we are aware that cybersecurity is becoming a lot more important to manage and be
right.
clear about,
Yeah.
that this is something that sometimes these providers will look at and can see a weakness in their system and immediately respond to keep data secure. But they do need to be doing that with a true partnership with that one provider. And I believe that if they do have that true partnership and connection, that it can work. But it's the challenge with that partnership being with all of the different providers as well.
Yes, exactly. So there are some whoever can come up with something that automate that, make it more reliable, more robust to software changes of all the system.
Yeah.
Come to talk to Elina from BDO.
Oh,
For
yes.
all the other BDO member, for all the other BDO colleagues or other accountants out there, what would you like to advise them about how to engage in the startup ecosystem?
I'd advise them come and speak to you guys at Fishburners.
Thank you.
Because you guys are working. It's amazing what you do with the startup community. It's really great to be involved and working with Fishburners in that space, because it is actually really, really good to see the support that's been provided and the growth that some of these businesses and the platform where they can speak, such as a pitch night tonight, and get the message out. It's so difficult for them at that space where they're really focused on what they're doing, their product or their service that they're bringing to market, that they don't necessarily think about the bigger picture of going to market at that time and build the strategy. But Fishburners provides them a lot of support in that.
Some support, but I guess my observation is that the main thing is help everyone out there to discover connections to those solution or to the problem or to an opportunity in the scale-up startup ecosystem. Just like Clare, the winner of our pitch tonight for the audience crowd vote favorite. She is a professional. I didn't pick up exactly what she was doing before her startup journey, but she's a professional, joined a scale-up program or start accelerator program and become a founder herself. So if a lot of us discover a corporate industrial challenge and worth solving, and it potentially could be a big startup.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
that's right.
And it is the connections that come through working with a place such as Fishburners for those startups.
Exactly.
I've been here at other pitch nights as well, where
Yes.
winning can be a consultation with a
That's right.
professional
That's
to
right.
help them in the other aspects of their business, and introducing them to different third parties that can help them from the holistic space, not just the word and get your name out there in this particular scenario.
Indeed. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and thank you for big fishing with us tonight. And for those who come to our networking event tonight, you can network with Elina from video and all the other capable people out there from CA accountant community. All right.
Thank you
I
very
think we
much,
are running
man.
out of time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. And it was
Check
really,
the link
really
in the
enjoyable.
description below, and then see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.